everyone can see there is actually still a difference. What does this difference lie in? My correct motion is: the first step is to open my fingers and wrist outward. This is the first step. What is the second step? The second step is that I perform inward curl and outward extension simultaneously. Look, 1, open up. Second step, inward curl plus outward extension. Is to open up. The second is inward curl and outward extension simultaneously. But the incorrect motion of many friends is: the first step is directly bringing the fingers and wrist inward. The second step is direct outward extension. That is to say, compared to everyone else, my motion has an extra step of opening up first. Then many friends will ask, this step of opening up first, doesn't that increase the complexity of your own motion? Doesn't it make it harder to serve? Come, let me explain to you why. Look, if everyone has a racket in hand right now, or empty-handed, go and experience holding the racket normally, just naturally opening it outward. Is this more relaxed? Or is curling the wrist inward very tightly, lifting it to your chest level, more relaxed? You can feel it for yourselves. It must be that opening it naturally like this. It will be a bit more relaxed. This might just be a split-second feeling. But if everyone continues to wait for 2 seconds, or even 3 seconds, everyone look, 1, 2, right 3. Now I still feel the same, very relaxed. But if you hold the inward wrist curl for 2 or 3 seconds, 1, 2, relax. Reaching 3 seconds. Don't you guys feel that the longer my wrist stays curled inward, the stiffer my wrist gets, the more of my own power I will need to exert, right? So if, when you are in the backswing, storing power, you use too much energy, then when you execute the shot, you won't have any power. Right? Therefore, I now first open up, and for the second step, I do the inward curl and outward extension simultaneously. That is to say, my storing of power, my execution of power is inward curl. This way of exerting force will make many friends feel that at the moment of execution, I am able to exert power. I can have acceleration. I can have explosive power. Because my backswing power storage is relaxed. I have power at the final execution. Look, relax. Exert force. Look, friends, look. Relax, exert force. Look, relax, exert force, right? Then what if I directly curl inward, tensed up, and there's no power left, right? Using a lot of effort, yet yielding no power. Very tense, yet powerless. I might still be able to serve it. But if I want to serve it long and fast, can I still do it? Definitely not. I don't even have forward power. How could I possibly send this ball long? I don't even have forward momentum. My hand is weak. How can I possibly accelerate? This is a problem that many often encounter. That is, when storing power, due to your incorrect logical sequence of motions. It leads to your power storage being stiff. Therefore, when everyone learns the reverse pendulum, don't worry about whether you can quickly serve it onto the table first. You must first master a good, correct logical sequence of exerting Once you master the process from storing to exerting power through your proficiency, you will naturally be able to serve it on the table. You can't say that just to get it on the table. I'd rather have the wrong motion, the wrong way of exerting force, just because it makes it easier to land on the table. So everyone must first learn what? That you must open up first. This is the first step. The second step is performing inward curl and outward extension simultaneously. And everyone, look, when I perform the inward curl and outward extension simultaneously, that is to say, what did I reduce? The time my wrist spends in the inward curl position. I have minimized to the greatest extent. The time my wrist pauses in the inward curl. That is to say, I make the possibility of my wrist becoming stiff reduced to the lowest, right? Because my inward curl and outward extension are simultaneous. It is a fluid inward curl plus outward extension. It's equivalent to drawing an S shape. It goes out in one breath. I am not stopping at the inward curl position. Look open. Am I not doing the inward curl and outward extension together? Did you see, friends? That is equivalent to my wrist going from inward curl to outward extension. This movement is very fluid, very natural. So only then can you exert power, including penhold friends, if you want to serve this well. It's also exactly the same. Let me show you guys. This is an issue of the method of storing. It has nothing to do with penhold. Look, when I serve with penhold, it's also opening curl, outward extension, right? Outward extension, inward curl, right? Outward extension. If I don't open up and directly curl inward and directly extend outward for the second step, it becomes this again. 1, 2. It's left like this again,
1, 2.
right? Wanting to serve long is impossible. Wanting to serve fast
You must open up
first, then inward curl
Open up
and
first,
outward extension.
then
inward curl
If you
and
don't
outward
believe
extension.
it, you can go and look at
You go watch Fan Zhendong, Zhang Jike. These two iconic figures of the reverse pendulum serve. Including you can go watch Liang Jinkin. Not a single one of them directly brings the wrist inward. They definitely open up first, and instantaneous inward curl plus outward extension.
Then let's move on to
talk about the next point. Because while we are storing power, it definitely also involves what issue are.
The ball toss.
Because the ball toss and backswing power storage are performed simultaneously. Okay, so this ball toss of ours is still very crucial. Why? Because whether you toss this ball well or not will directly involve whether you can synthesize the force. Actually, this synthesizing is whether we can utilize the power from the ball toss, thereby combining the toss power and serve power, so 1 + 1 is greater than 2. This way, the resulting quality will be higher. Okay, now, regarding this ball toss, I will first give everyone a demonstration. A correct one and an incorrect Everyone look at the correct one first. 1, 2, 3, right?
One more. 1, 2, 3.
Okay, this is correct. Now I'll do an incorrect one for everyone.
1, 2, 3.
Does this ball look awkward to you all? But I tossed this ball exceptionally straight.
You can't pick out a single flaw. 1, 2, 3,
hey,
right?
1, 2, 3. Can you exert long power? Isn't it that you can't exert any
Why
power
can't
at
power
all?
be applied?
Let me explain it to everyone. There are 2 points everyone needs to know. First, the direction of our ball toss. It must match our what? Power storage direction. It should be consistent. Everyone, you can think
Where
about
are
it.
we
Storing power towards, right? After opening up, we store it towards the inside of the body. So when we toss the ball must also be tossed towards where? It also must be tossed towards the inside of the body. You can also understand it this way. The toss direction and the force execution direction are opposite. They are opposite. Everyone watch my execution direction. This final motion is from inside to outside, right? So actually, look, it's forward. Then where should my ball toss go, right? The force execution direction is forward and
then
outward.
This toss direction of mine.
Shouldn't it be backward? Inward? This way, everyone.
Look.
Only by making the ball's force and your execution direction opposite in direction. Only this way can you form a resultant force of the ball going backward and the motion going forward. Right? If you say your toss is opposite to your force direction, your execution motion is forward.
And the ball is also tossed
What will that
forward.
form? You see. What kind of serve is this? This is called the person chasing the ball, the
What
racket
kind of
chasing
serve
the
is it?
ball. They should mutually generate a combined force. Understood, friends?
Therefore,
everyone must pay attention to your toss direction. Many friends say you toss it backward. Toss it backward. The ITTF regulation that the backward toss angle is controlled within 30 degrees. This angle has no problem at all. And ITTF international referees, including myself being a national level 2 referee, for penalizing whether a ball is tossed backward is not in a that match. I take a ruler to measure whether you have exceeded that 30-degree angle. What do they look at? They look at whether, during the process of your toss, this arc of yours, does it present a parabolic, curved state? Everyone, you can go watch X when he serves the hook. Can he toss it completely straight?
Impossible.
He also has a backward
But why
toss.
is he fine?
Because his toss has height and an arc. It is a parabola. So you see, the reverse pendulum is also the same. It doesn't matter if you toss it like this. But if there's a parabola that goes straight up and then straight down, then if you do, what? It would be wrong. Everyone this is wrong. See? This is very obviously wrong. This ball, I did not execute have any parabolic curve. I directly threw the ball onto the racket, serving like this. This is a foul. This is a foul. This is not a foul. Did you see, friends? So everyone must learn this. This is the basis for judging whether it's a backward toss. And the standard upon which referees penalize. Okay, now I'll return to the main topic and continue explaining to everyone.
We perform an appropriate backward toss.
Everyone look. Ultimately, it forms a ball moving towards the inside of our body. Moving. Then our motion goes from the inside of the body outwards. Only then can it combine with the ball's force. So everyone must first learn to control the direction of your toss. You need to know,
what kind of ball am I trying to serve?
Where is my force going? Only this way can you know where
should
your
be
ball
tossed
is.
to. Ultimately, being able to utilize, that is,
The
combine
force
with
of the ball.
This is the first
then
point.
the second
What should we
point.
pay attention to when tossing
We
the ball?
also
need to pay
The
attention
amount
to
of force during the tossing process. You must pay attention to the force of your toss. Why pay attention to the force of your toss?
Many friends toss the ball,
Tossing it softly,
gently lifting it up.
gently lifting it up. Then you go and watch. When I serve now, do you notice that at the moment I toss the ball, my arm accelerates a little bit, adds a little bit of force? Why? After I add force, I can better generate force. That is, when I utilize the ball's force. When utilizing the toss force, I can utilize more. Isn't it, friends? Look, if I hit this ball like this, now,
am I not gently tossing it over?
The ball force I utilize is very little. But if I toss the ball a bit faster, toss it a bit harder, can't I utilize the ball's force now? Even more, right? I leave my racket gently toss it. It only has this little bit of force. If I toss it harder, look, doesn't the force utilized become much more? Actually, tossing the ball operates on the same principle. Or any serve. If you toss it up gently, what you exert is mostly your own active power. If you use a little bit of force to
only
toss,
then can you fully
not only utilize the force from the toss direction, but also utilize the force from the toss speed. Only then can you truly use your toss and serve to produce the highest quality spin, including speed. Therefore, everyone must pay attention to this ball tossing issue. Friends? Once you learn to toss, then can you serve. If you can't toss, no matter how good your serve motion is, the ball won't have any power now, right? With this toss direction and force, we've learned to synthesize the force. Then finally, it's this final moment of executing the force. What should we pay attention to? Actually, in this final moment of outward extension, what problem do many friends encounter?
They feel the power of the outward extension.
Feel the outward extension power of their wrist, and then they will desperately try during the outward extension to fling the wrist. Everyone look, desperately flinging the wrist. Then you will find this ball is indeed
flinging it onto the table. It is indeed quite spinny.
You can't fling it long at all. Try it. Everyone look. When you fling your wrist desperately, although the ball is very spinny, what is the drawback? The ball is especially slow, right? Moreover, your motion is very large. If you want to serve long, it won't go long at all.
So we must pay attention.
In this final moment of execution, to what extent should the wrist extend outward? Is considered enough? Everyone, our wrist's final execution. Everyone watch me serve a short one. Observe carefully. Look at my wrist. 1, 2, 3. This is a short ball, right?
Come, I'll serve another long ball. 1, 2.
This is a long ball. Did everyone see? At the final moment, when I serve the ball out, my final wrist motion always ends with, what? The racket tip pointing forward. And then I stop. Look, the short one is also 1,
isn't
2,
my racket
3.
tip pointing
I didn't
forward?
fully extend the wrist outwards, right? Come, the long one I serve is also 1. Look, 2, my racket tip is always
so
pointing
when exerting
forward.
Force, if you want to make your short ball,
bounce twice quickly, DADA, after landing on the table. If you want to be able to serve your long ball fast, if you want the power of your serve to be concentrated, then you must learn for your wrist. To what extent you curl inward depends on your capability, depends on the flexibility of your wrist. How is its flexibility? Then, in this final moment of outward extension, always be, what? The racket tip pointing forward as a final baseline. That is to say, this action of the racket tip is not achieved by telepathy, making the racket tip stop in front. What does it rely on? It relies on, after our final execution, the fingers and wrist executing an instantaneous grip on the racket. To break, rely on the power of the fingers to stop the racket. Stop. See that? Stop at the position where the racket tip points forward. Come. See that? 1, 2. Come. Go. 1, 2. Come. Go. Let me demonstrate for everyone once more. This is short. Go. Come. Long 1. I am using pen hold. Everyone can watch again. 1, 2. Racket tip points forward. Come. Racket tip points forward. So everyone must think about breaking at execution. Breaking. When you have a quick break with your racket tip pointing forward as a baseline, whether you serve short or long, whether you serve backspin or topspin, it's always based on the racket tip pointing forward. This way, your execution's kind of sudden explosive power will be stronger. You need to have a breaking action,
just like when we loop the ball.
I relax first. Finally, if my forearm doesn't contract in time, doesn't grip the racket in time, then what does this motion become? It's all scattered out. It's useless, right? If we want our power to be concentrated, don't we need to go through an active contraction of the forearm and gripping of the racket? In this way, look, isn't your power then concentrated? Only then will your explosive power be good. Serving is the same. It also requires an instantaneous